Hey, curious minds, welcome to the show that's like a lucky dip of knowledge. But instead of cheap plastic toys, you get mind-blowing facts. Today we're serving up 10 facts so random you'll wonder if I've lost it. Spoiler, I haven't. Probably. We're talking about everything from moon mirrors to cursed numbers, square watermelons to the smell of rain, which, by the way, totally has a name. Who knew, right? Buckle up, buttercups, because things are about to get seriously weird. All right, folks, let's kick things off with a card trick. Not really a trick, more like a mind-blowing fact disguised as a card trick. Ever shuffled a deck of cards? Of course you have. We've all been there pretending to be poker sharks at a family reunion, but here's the thing. When you shuffle that deck, you're creating an order of cards that's probably never existed in the history of the universe. No, seriously. There are more possible combinations in a deck of 52 cards than there are atoms on Earth. Let that sink in for a second. Atoms, those tiny little things that make up, well, everything. You've held more potential combinations in your hands than the entire planet contains in atoms. That means your shuffle? Yeah, it's basically one of a kind. You're not just playing cards. You're a chaos wizard, bending the fabric of probability with every shuffle. Give yourself a round of applause. Have you ever walked outside right before a rainstorm and thought, man, it smells amazing out here? Of course you have. We've all been there sniffing the air like a bunch of weirdos, but guess what? That earthy, fresh, oh-so-pleasant smell has a name. It's called, say it with me, petrichor, and it's basically nature's way of saying, hey, things are about to get wet and wild. But here's the even cooler part. Petrichor isn't just the smell of rain itself, it's actually a combination of plant oils and a specific type of bacteria that gets kicked up into the air when raindrops hit the ground. So next time you're enjoying that pre-rain aroma, remember, you're not just smelling the air, you're smelling the awesome collaboration of plants, bacteria, and good old H2O. It's like a science party in your nostrils. All right, space cadets, get ready for this one. Remember those astronauts who landed on the moon? Total rock stars, right? Well, they didn't just plant a flag and bounce, they also left something else behind, a mirror. And no, it wasn't for checking their space hair. This mirror, my friends, is a special kind of mirror. It's designed to reflect lasers. Lasers shot from Earth, no less. Why in the cosmos would we shoot lasers at a mirror on the moon? Well, it's all about measuring the distance between Earth and its lunar bestie. By timing how long it takes for the laser to bounce back, scientists can calculate the distance with incredible accuracy. It's basically science's version of I'll leave a light on for you. But instead of a porch light, it's a giant laser. And instead of a loved one, it's a big old hunk of space rock. Romantic, right? Let's talk about the English language for a second. It's a wild ride of weird spellings, confusing grammar rules, and enough exceptions to make your head spin. But amidst all the chaos, there's one letter that stands out as the true MVP, the letter E. Think about it, E is everywhere. It's the most common letter in the English language, appearing in a whopping 11% of all words. Don't believe me? Try writing a sentence without using the letter E. Go on, I dare you. It's nearly impossible. The letter E is like the glue that holds the English language together. It's in our greetings, our goodbyes, and pretty much everything in between. So next time you see the letter E, give it a little nod of appreciation. It's the unsung hero of the alphabet, working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure our words make sense. You the real MVP, E. We've all used the word jiffy when talking about something happening quickly. Be back in a jiffy. I'll finish this in a jiffy. But here's a mind-blowing fact. A jiffy isn't just a made-up word for a short amount of time. It's an actual unit of measurement. I know, right? Mind blown. So, how long is a jiffy exactly? Well, in the world of physics, a jiffy is defined as the time it takes for light to travel 1 centimeter in a vacuum. That's incredibly fast. To put it into perspective, the blink of an eye takes about 300 jiffies. So next time you want to sound super smart, start using jiffy in your everyday conversations. Instead of saying, I'll be back in a minute, say, I'll be back in 600 million jiffies. People will be so impressed by your scientific knowledge, they'll be too stunned to question why you're measuring time in billionths of a second. We all have our lucky numbers, right? But did you know that some cultures have unlucky numbers? And I'm not talking about just a little bit of bad luck. I'm talking about the kind of bad luck that makes you want to stay in bed all day with the covers pulled over your head. In many East Asian cultures, the number 4 is considered to be extremely unlucky. Why? Because the word for 4 in many of these languages sounds very similar to the word for death. And nobody wants to mess with death, right? This belief is so strong that in some buildings you won't find a fourth floor. They'll skip right from the third floor to the fifth floor, just to avoid any potential bad vibes. Can you imagine living in a world where numbers were actually cursed? Math class would be a nightmare. Watermelons, those big, juicy, summertime treats that are practically begging to be sliced open and enjoyed by the pool. But here's a question for you. Have you ever seen a square watermelon? No, I'm not talking about some weird optical illusion. I'm talking about actual honest-to-goodness square watermelons. Believe it or not, they exist. In Japan, farmers have perfected the art of growing square watermelons, and no, it's not just for fun, although it is pretty darn cool. Square watermelons are actually much easier to store and transport than their round counterparts. They take up less space in refrigerators and on trucks, which is a big deal in a country where space is at a premium. Plus, they look really cool on Instagram. So there you have it, square watermelons, proof that even Mother Nature can appreciate a good space-saving hack. Every country has its national animal, right? The bald eagle for the United States, the kangaroo for Australia, the panda for China. You get the idea. But have you ever heard of a country choosing a mythical creature as its national animal? Well, buckle up, because Scotland did just that. That's right, folks. The national animal of Scotland is none other than the unicorn, you know? The majestic horse-like creature with a single spiraled horn protruding from its forehead. One that's been a symbol of purity, innocence and magic for centuries. Yeah, that one. It might seem like a strange choice, but the unicorn has actually been associated with Scotland for centuries. It's featured on the country's coat of arms, and it's been a symbol of power, strength and even purity for Scottish kings and queens throughout history. So there you have it. Scotland, the land of bagpipes, kilts and unicorns. Ah, the lava lamp. That mesmerizing blob of goo that's been a staple of dorm rooms, bachelor pads and groovy dens for decades. But have you ever wondered where this iconic invention came from? The answer might surprise you. The lava lamp was inspired by a cocktail shaker. You read that right. Back in the 1960s, an inventor named Edward Craven Walker was at a pub in England when he spotted a strange-looking egg timer sitting on the bar. It was a cocktail shaker filled with two liquids of different densities, and as the shaker was heated, the liquids would rise and fall, creating a mesmerizing display. Walker was immediately captivated, and he knew he had to recreate this effect in a lamp. And thus the lava lamp was born. So next time you're gazing at your lava lamp, take a moment to appreciate the fact that it all started with a cocktail shaker and a stroke of genius. The full moon. It's a sight that's inspired poets, lovers and werewolves for centuries. But here's a fact that might surprise you. A full moon isn't just prettier than a half moon, it's actually 9 times brighter. That's right, folks, 9 times. It's like the difference between a nightlight and a spotlight. But why is the full moon so much brighter? Well, it all comes down to geometry and the way that light reflects off the moon's surface. When the moon is full, the entire face of the moon that's facing Earth is illuminated by the sun. And because the moon's surface is curved, all of that reflected sunlight is focused directly at Earth, like a giant mirror in the sky. So next time you're basking in the glow of a full moon, remember, you're not just seeing a celestial object, you're seeing the awesome power of sunlight, reflection, and a whole lot of lunar surface area. And there you have it, my friends. 10 mind-blowing facts that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the world. If your brain is feeling a little bit like a scrambled Rubik's Cube right now, don't worry, that's perfectly normal. In fact, it means you're on the right track. Because the more we learn about the world around us, the more we realize how much we don't know. And that's what makes life so darn interesting. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep embracing the weirdness, because the world is a strange and wonderful place, and there's always something new to discover.